Oi, 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 oi. I'm very sorry for keeping people waiting there. We just I had to tie up some little bits backstage just to get sort of ready for today, man. Listen, it's a Monday. It's got to be double forgivable in it. And it's not just a Monday. It's a Monday after the Sunday of that absolute car crash of a performance, which of course we're going to get into. No surprises there, man. Just as well, I just thought I'd just let everyone know, even though it's got my name and the Arsenal X thing is what I do on a regular sort of a Monday thing. It was Rashid who messaged me yesterday and sort of said about setting this stream up. So credit's got to be credit where it's, it's got to be given where it's due. And it's to Rashid as well. And on that note, I've seen my brother. It's gone up to 600. I think it was at 11, 600, something like that.
Yeah,
he's flying, man. He's flying, people. And if you don't go over and give him some support, what's wrong with you, man? He talks absolute sense. And every single shred of them subs he bloody deserves. He don't just deserve, he bloody deserves. And also the same can be said to my man Carl, whose channel's growing lovely as well, man. He's smashing the over 100. His road is to 300 or 500 next. Make sure
next, yeah.
300 next. Make sure you get that to Carl as well, people. Links should be in the title. They will also be in the description. Make sure you tell me if they're clickable or not. I'm sure they will be, but if they're not, I'll go back and re-edit it. And I'll also get it up in the chat very, very, very soon. Now the formalities are sort of out the way. First off, man, listen, it's a Monday evening, man. Like, what an absolute atrocity again. And the thing is it anything that we expected? For me, it was exactly what I expected. Why? Because a couple of days before, or pretty much a week, I said very many times on the live stream, I expect a 1-1 result. And look what happened. Almost like sometimes I know what I'm talking about. I didn't expect us to be on fire. Everyone was going, yeah, you know what, you're all going to absolutely batter Manchester United, absolutely pull their pants down. We're going to take the piss out of them. It's going to be easy. It's going to be 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s. You know what I mean? We're going to be paying for the 8-2. I even heard one geezer said, I mean, deal with that however you will. But the reality, and do you know why? The reality comes crashing down very soon. Because look at the results after the Manchester City 5-1. Look at the results after West Ham. Look at the results after the Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, they're not great. Do you know why? Because we've been inconsistent all season. And it's no surprise. Was there really a reality yesterday where we go and beat Manchester United 4-0 when we haven't scored past Manchester United 4 times, people, listen to this, 4 times at Old Trafford since 1909. And guess what, everyone? We weren't even called Arsenal. We was called Woolwich Arsenal then. The last time we scored 3 against them away in the league was in 1970. The earliest time we've scored 3 against them at neutral ground was in the 79 FA Cup. So where people thought that we were going to batter them and they're getting that from, I mean, I ain't got a clue. And before I just quickly come to the boys, because I'll go to Rashid next, because we've all got a lot to say. And so is my brothers right next to me on the right. I just want to say hello to people in the chat. FC always, man, always. Mikel, yeah. One more to ask you about the title race, because there's 15 points now. Oh, what does he want to do? Colour. And do you know what I want to make on that point? And I'm sure we will get into that. What I quickly want to skim over on that point is, what precedent does that set to your squad? It might not be the older squad. It's not the youngest squad, but it's not an older squad. What precedent does that set to your squad when basically you're saying, when the going gets tough, when I'm in a little awkward situation, guess what? I run away. And is there no surprise he has pointed a captain so cowardly as Martin Odegaard? It almost makes sense now, doesn't it? Shane, big up, bruv. How are you doing, man? Big up for the view always. Again, yeah, big up again. What's the crack, people? He's going, yeah, a little short. Keep it a centre time while we wait. Apologies for that. But you said never mind while we put it up. And hello, Gavin. How are you doing, man? Big up always. And now we're gonna skim over to the right, man. Rashid, listen, yeah, we're here Monday night, man. And I wish there could be more smiles here, but I mean, we're only articulating what we see, and what we see ain't really great, is it, bruv?
Thanks for having me on. First and foremost,
thanks for having me
on. Hey, big up to you, big up to Carl as always. Listen, this is the thing. You know how in everything, before you get sick, there will be signs, right? Before you fall sick, there will be signs. It's the same thing when it comes to anything in this world. There will always be signs. And what we felt what this fan base fails on is to take the signs as a warning. So what they would do is they would see the sign. We beat Man City, like you said, 5-1, and nothing changed after that. It was back to the same old Arsenal. U-shaped football, can't break down teams, and losing a lot of points. Obviously, it's very obvious now, seeing the 15 point or soon to become an 18 point, in my opinion, Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now let's go back to the Leicester, West Ham, and Nottingham Forest. We were playing the same way we were playing yesterday. This is what worries me about this club. Why I don't believe this Arteta is, as they say, because they're trying to tell us that Arteta is our next Fergie. I don't know who started this trend.
Man,
whoever started
it. Comment.
That's a hate crime in itself. Carry on, Rashid.
You've read it online. You guys have read it online, right? Oh, Fergie in the 6 years. Obviously, we'll get to that after, but I'm talking about like how these people think that Arteta is the next best thing that's going to happen to this club. We go against Leicester, same formation, same lineup, same style of play. What happens there? We lose points. We lose points to West Ham, Nottingham Forest. And between those games, nothing changed, Aaron. Do you know what I'm saying? If something changed in between those games, I'll be like, okay, Arteta's trying and it's just not working. So that's a different kind of thing. But you're not trying, Arteta. You're not trying to change anything. You're not trying to change the style of play. You're not trying to change the players' positions, how the players play football. Yesterday we dissected it, and big up to everyone that was on that stream yesterday, because we dissected everything that's wrong about this club. And we got to the point where, I don't know if you guys remember, we were talking about how Arsenal, why we struggle against low blocks or mid blocks. It's because of the style of play. You've got Trossard, that's an inside forward, and you've got Ethan, similar, because Ethan's more of a 10. Ethan's not a winger.
Yeah.
That's why you need players in their specific positions. That's why every player has their position. Do you know what I'm saying? If we was to join a Sunday league team, you can't just be like, oh, okay, I'll play winger, and then they'll put you on the pitch, and then obviously after a game or two, they're gonna, the coach's gonna bring you to the side and be like, listen, bro, it's not working. Maybe that's not your, do you know what I'm saying? That's not your position.
Yeah.
It's the same thing for Ethan. He's like an inside winger. So we've got two inside forwards, and then we've got Moreno trying to play the target man, right? Is that what he's trying to play, guys? The target man.
That's madness, isn't it?
And then you've got Declan Rice running 120 20 miles an hour, running. Yes, he does try it hard. Like, I'm not going to take that away from Rice. And I don't want Rice to leave the club. I don't. There's other players that I want them to leave the club. Rice isn't one of them. But, like, it's just Rice running in that midfield, and then you've got Odegaard just hiding from every ball. So at the end of the game, nobody can say, hey, you know what? It's Odegaard's fault. Do you know what I'm saying? You saw that. We talked about it as well. How, like, Rice had the ball. Rice had the ball. Odegaard and Moreno went to Ethan's
all ran in the same,
like in a triangle, kind of like a triangle, all ran to the right. So you've got Rice then thinking, who am I gonna pass to? So what does Rice do at the moment? Tries to pass the ball all the way to Ethan. And then Manchester United, come on, let's be honest here. Manchester United, their problem is going forward. It's not defending. Yes, they had the problem with set pieces, but they fixed that. We've seen it yesterday. They fixed that issue. Because we had 9 corners yesterday. None of them were even dangerous. Right?
Yeah.
Look, this is the thing. This is what we need to understand from this club. Is that as long as Arteta is in this club, we will struggle against certain systems. So anytime, regardless of the opponent, Do you know what I'm saying? So it's regardless of the opponent. If
Yeah.
we was to meet Newcastle instead of PSV, it would have been a different game. Do you guys agree with me?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It would have. It would have been.
100%. Totally different game. Polar opposite.
You're not winning 7-1. You're not winning
Yeah.
7-1. You're not beating them 7-1. It's impossible. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've been struggling against these teams, and it's been since the beginning of the season. We've been winging it. Like yesterday, you, me, and Lee, we were talking about it. Aaron, actually, it was you as well. We were talking about how many games we've won using those set pieces. That's why I was one of the best. I was one of the people that was bigging up the set piece coach. I thought he was doing an incredible job, amazing job, because I saw how many set pieces we scored and how many games we against Man United, for example. We beat them 2-0. How? Set pieces.
Yeah.
That's going to be going forward. Going forward, this is what the manager has brought us into. He's made us a team that's a systematic team. It would work against certain opponents, and people need to understand that when you're at the top, a lot of teams will play a mid block and a low block against you, and then you have to show the world that you deserve the Premier League or the Champions League or any competition you're in, because City used to show the world that they deserve it. Barcelona, how many teams did Barcelona play that played the mid block or a low block against them every week, Aaron? Every
Brother.
week.
Mate, you're exactly right. And to jump in on that point you make, and I always say exactly the same thing. You're spitting absolute facts, Rashid. Everyone deals with it. I always use just English teams. Like these big teams, Real Madrid, Barcelona, they've faced them all their life. Do you not reckon Messi and Ronaldinho and Samuel Eto'o and Thierry Henry and David Villa and Neymar and Suarez, do you not reckon they face low blocks? But guess what? All of them 6, 7, 8 players that I just named can get past it. Why? Because they are special players that can have special moments to win a games because they are class. And the point in there that I'm making is Manchester City teams with, the Agueros and the Haalands and the Sanes and the Mahrezes and things like that. They win you games. Why? Because they've got special players that when they're facing them tight defenses, they can unlock them in a magical moment. One beautiful pass, one excellent move executed from the training field, one world-class top bin finish. It doesn't matter. When you've got 3, 4 or 5 of them players in your team, you have a phenomenal chance to win every single match, regardless of how tactical, whatever it is. With Arsenal, our only player that can do that is injured on the bench with a massive scar on his leg. I know and where he's got it in his locker, but we can't expect too much of him. Do you know what I mean? But it's a fantastic point that you make. These low blocks, we'll stop crying about it. And Lucas saying it in the chat as well, Rob. Arteta's scared to play low block. I don't understand, why they can't use that as an excuse. When you are inferior, you will always probably go defensively. Otherwise, guess what? When you're an inferior attacking team, you might play in a superior attacking team 10 times. You're probably going to beat them twice. At best, if you're going to leave yourself open in attacking, if they're better than you, they'll rip you to shreds. We've seen it time and time again with Arsene Wenger's Arsenal sides. How brilliant and beautiful and attacking were we on the ball, but we were naive defensively. So when we came up against a better attacking side, like a Barcelona's over the years and Bayern Munich with Ribery and Robben and things like that, we get ripped to shreds. Why? Because we're inferior and we're leaving ourselves open. So what should we have done? Oh, yeah, shut up shop and play in them games, a low block. But guess what? We'd have probably lost that because they've got Iron, Robben and fucking Ribery on there. Quality players that on their day and on most days can fucking beat a player, put a wonderful ball in, put the ball in the top bins. What we're doing here? It's madness, isn't it? But it's the excuses, Rashid. Like you said, it's all the excuses that you hear from people, my friend.
Sorry, and I'll end my piece here. So you've got City that played for at least 7 years or 6 years against these teams, and it's understandable, Aaron. They don't have the type of talent we have. If you're playing a Southampton, you don't expect them to go at you. Obviously, you're going to expect them to play a low block and try to catch you on a counter. It's just understandable. And I wanted to respond to what Lucas said. Luca, we're not the ones that should be playing a low block. we should be playing a low block against certain teams.
Yeah.
But if
That's
you're
the
playing
one.
a Southampton or a Leicester, it's kind of like it's kind of naive to actually play a low block against them teams. With all due respect, of course, why would you play a low block against them teams? Do you know what I'm saying? And then it'll be a 0-0 or it'll be a 1-1 kind of like game, and you don't need that. You need to
Yeah.
get the points. They just need to save themselves from relegation. All they need is to stay in the PL. Do you know what I'm saying? But you're going for other stuff. You're going for the Premier League and the Champions League. That's what this manager told us.
Yeah.
So I've seen teams that played low blocks and they continue to win titles and done great things, i.e. Manchester City. But yeah, what do I know? What do I know?
Yeah. I'm going to bring Carl in on this. Shane, I will read out your comment in 1 second. I just want to say hello to my dear father quickly, because I know he'll start crying if I don't say hello. Rice, man of the match, how you doing, Dad? Yeah, big up, mate. Nottingham Forest close up on you. Yeah, they're getting too close, pause. Yeah, Arteta runs out of interviews because the bitch and coward he is, Dad. But hey, they are still mugs out there who believe you'll win the European title. By the way, hello, son. By the way, hello, Dad, and always, obviously, man. Big up for being here. And just one more quick comment, and I'll come back to that because I want to bring Carl in, of course, who's been waiting there patiently. Gentlemen, Rice will leave if he wants to win trophies. LOL. Yeah. I think we've heard that before. Listen, it's annoying because I've just got to hold that, unfortunately, Dad. Yeah. But we'll sort of see. He's lifted that St. Johnson's Paint Trophy of a European equivalent cup that he won with West Ham, But I know you're going to come back and say it's a cup. What can we do? The one thing I won't do, Dad, is come back and say we've won 2 charity shields. I can promise you that. I'm not one of them. But
we won a cup, win a cup.
Yeah, that's it, man. Yes,
that's what we want.
Yeah. It. Carl's been waiting here patiently, and it's something that I want to stay in with this sort of low blocks thing, and it's a good way to tell Carl in. So Shane, big up, brother. Liverpool face low blocks, exactly the point. When it's not happening, and this is the point, and this is why I wanted to bring you in on it, Carl. When it's not happening, Slot switches tactics. Arteta only has one tactic, so he's baffled when he can't break it down. And the sentence here, or the little bit here, is Slot switches tactics. We never see Arteta switching up absolutely anything, Carl, mate. Nothing. It's one way or nothing, isn't it, bro?
Novice manager, professional, well-respected, seasoned pro manager. When you're a new manager, when you're coaching badges, right? You start off on a lower team because you need to you understand your craft through managing on the lower team. So you understand different formation, different play style, different tactics. You do that in the lower leagues. Because then if you do become amazing, then you'll get lifted up to like the higher echelon. Xabi Alonso's done it. Cesc Fabregas has done it, and so on. The thing is, the in-game management from Arteta is so naive and so predictable that it's just like it's just Groundhog Day without the humor. That's all it is now.
Bill Murray and all that.
It's Bill Murray. It's just stupid how the way people have come across how, giving all these excuses for Arteta regarding of the players and regarding of injuries and so on. But if you just take off your glasses a second, which I will do now, and you actually look with your pair of eyeballs, actually look at the game of how the game is actually played and structured. Aaron, you go to games, right? You're a season ticket holder. And I've noticed this, okay? So, the last time I went to watch Arsenal play was 2017. It was a 3-0 home win against Bournemouth. I walked into that stadium. It was fucking toxic as hell. You could cut the tension with a blunt bread knife. It was that bad, right? What I do realise, when you're watching it on TV, you can only see for what the screen pictures you. When you actually hit the game, you can see it in its full out entirety. So you can see where the players are running off. You can see where they're creating space. You can see where they can get the passes off to. You can see it with your own eyes. And it just seems like this manager is like looking this through tunnel vision. He only knows how to go one way about it. And it's just absolutely baffling how we continue to do this over and over and over again. And I've got idiots on Twitter like this Moarsel86 has come up with some right bullshit about this. He goes, hang on.
Every team would suffer about their first choice four attackers. Madrid, Mbappe, Vinny, Rodrigo, and Endrick. Barcelona, Yamal, Rafinha, Lua, Olmo. Bayern Munich, Musiala, Kane, Olise, Sane. Liverpool, Salah, Gakpo, Jota, and Diaz. But apparently Arsenal are fair game and should have zero drop-off with Mikel Merino at centre forward. What a fucking moron you are, mate. I mean...
What a load of shit, innit?
First
This
of
is
all,
what we're dealing with,
it's Real
Carl.
Madrid. They win titles. Barcelona win titles. Bayern Munich, okay, it's the Bundesliga and you kind of know it gets run about all the time, but, you know, they still win. Liverpool, European heritage. They win Champions Leagues. They've won cups and they're going to win the Premier League for the second time, right? But the thing is, they all have strength in depth. You know, Liverpool, you know, they've got Nunes coming off the bench. You've still got Harvey Elliott coming off the bench. You've got Ento, I think is it, or the midfield for Liverpool. I can't remember his name is now. I think it's Endo.
Enzo.
Endo.
That's the one. That's it.
I beg your pardon. And then, you know, you look at the likes of, as I said, Real Madrid. You know, they've got an abundance of players that can come off the bench and score at any time. Their midfield is absolutely freaking stacked. The thing is, if you're going to mount a title charge, there's three things that you need. You need to switch up your tactics if it's all going wrong. You need a proper bench, not the shit that we got. An actual proper bench that will actually dictate games and can actually help you score within an absolute instant. And then the third one of all is, and the most important one, because Liverpool have done this all season, consistency. You need to be consistent
100%.
in the league. You need to be consistent in the league, right? Although Roy Keane shot himself in the foot here, remember when he said that, you can't win the Premier League with like 10 draws. He shot himself in the foot there because United, when they won the treble in 99, they had, I think, 10 or 11 draws. And he was captain.
Really?
So how the fuck did Roy Keane miss that one? I've got absolutely no idea. But anyhow.
Yeah, facts, man. Love it.
Any idea?
Love it.
But no, as I say, it's the same thing, different day, mate. And, you know, we're sitting here still scratching our heads and just like, we've seen this happen so many times now. Even under Arsene Wenger now, we've seen it so many times. You know, we're not saying this to shout and scream and freaking be absolute, you know, idiots on social media. We're saying what we're saying because we've seen it happen before. You know, it's muscle memory of like, oh crap, we've seen this happen. We've seen this happen once or twice already. And unfortunately, these new level of fans have got absolutely no idea what they are dealing with when they try and argue with us, because they believe that it should be here and the now. This is how it should be. That's not how football works. That's not how sport works. You really think I want my New England Patriots to freaking keep sucking now for the next decade? Well, everybody does, but that's besides the point. You know, I certainly don't. I want us back in the postseason for the next 2 seasons. Come on. Where's your standards? Raise them, for Christ's sake.
That's the problem, though, Carl. There's no standards through the roof, and Arsene Wenger's got to take some blame for this. And I'll tell you why. And I'll come to the chat in a minute. But Arsene Wenger's got to take a lot of blame for this, and I'll tell you for why. Because of labelling top 4 as a trophy for so many years has just completely taken the standards from Arsenal Football Club. Now, yes, people will combat that with, and you know, to some extent, because it's factual. They'll say, you know, we had the stadium to deal with, we had to sell players and everything like that. Yes, no, or whatever. Well, I didn't want to leave Highbury for a start. If that meant that we had to go through 21 years of torture at the Emirates, can we just not go back to Highbury, please? Can we do a Bill Murray, but maybe just take us back to 2005 before it got knocked down and we went in 2006? Can we just not go back to there? Like, because I'm sorry, this isn't what I moved from Highbury to Emirates for. I came here to be competitive, like we was told, under many regimes, by the way. Do you not remember when we had even Gazidis saying we will be competing with Bayern Munich? What did we do? fairly shortly. And people, this is facts. Have a little Google of it. What did we do soon after we said we're going to compete with Bayern Munich? We lost fucking 10-2 on aggregate to them. And we went out to them 3 times before that at every single stage, whether it be the 16 or the quarterfinals. We went out to them. And then we went out 10-2. Unfortunately, I was there for the 5-1 at home. And that was the return leg. Sadly, my friend, he may or may not be in the chat, had personal issues. I don't need to bring it up. But we was going to Munich for the away leg, and that was, I think, was it 16-17, I think, that season.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, 10-2. We've knocked down a stadium. We've won 13 league titles in. To go to an Emirates Stadium, and it's not even, it was of its time, but let me tell you, I go there for the vast majority of the weeks, and it's not that great. It's not that great. It's all right. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing great. It's fantastic. It needs updating. Look at Tottenham down the road. All right, they've got absolute pillocks that fill it. Do you know what I mean? But it's still a fantastic stadium if you say it's in stadiums, right? What have we got? We've got a stadium. Probably got a stadium that fills no titles. But the point I'm trying to make, because I'm digressing, yeah, just I need to get back on track. We've Arsene Wenger's lowered that from 4th place. So saying 4th place is a trophy. What does trophy mean? Success. So by saying that we're in the top 4, that's telling these fans that it's a success. Let me tell you one thing right now, for anyone that disagrees with me right now, top 4 Champions League qualification for Arsenal Football Club never has, never will be, never should be fucking success. It should not ever be success. That is, I mean, the most 0.0000001 bare minimum. It's not fucking success. It's just where we should be. I expect to wake up in the morning. That's not success. That's just waking up. It's not. And Arsenal should be competing at that level. I don't care. We're the 3rd biggest club in England. And do you know what? If we keep this pillock Arteta, and we won't, because Chelsea and I can't remember the exact things off my top of my head, but Manchester City and Chelsea in terms of trophies are right on our fucking arseholes. They are right there, mate. Pause. They are right next to us. They're a couple of trophies behind. And I'll tell you what, Manchester City win an FA Cup this year. Chelsea win that silly European trophy. And then some of them do bits next season. We're the 5th biggest club. That's how quick this swing could be. We are tuned in to accept these failures, these absolute failures. And guess what? All of this nonsense, boys, all of this absolute stupidity of success and just accepting failure, all that does, it just filtered down the line. So now we've gone from 2006, where we had a Champions League final and then didn't win a trophy for 9-10 years. We won an FA Cup in 2013-14, then 14-15, then 16-17, then 20, yeah? So we were successful at some points, but 5th, 4th, 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 3rd, 4th, 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 4th. No fucking success. But everyone's happy with that. What we're seeing is people going, well, it's all progression. It's all progression, everyone. Why is it progression? Because all these top gooners now that think 4th place is a fucking absolute success in itself. Now, because we're 2nd, they're like, this is unbelievable. Like, we're 2nd. We're challenging. Bruv, do you reckon Thierry Henry, boys, everyone in this chat, yeah, big up this chat. Don't forget, like and subscribe as well. And like and subscribe to my brother Rashid and my brother fucking Carl here, man. Do you think in 1999, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, yeah? Do you think Patrick Vieira? Do you think Tony Adams, Martin Keown? Do you reckon all of these players, David Seaman, went, oh, that was a good season that we finished finished 1 point behind Manchester United? When Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank scored that goal at Ellen Road that destroyed our title hopes, that took it out of our hands, and we beat Nwankwo Kanu beat Aston Villa. We won 1-0, but Manchester United won their game, so it makes no difference. Do you think them boys went, boy, that wasn't a bad season, it was 2nd place? Do you reckon all of these players were buzzing with that? What about in 2000? They weren't the best of seasons in 2001. Do you reckon Arsenal and all of them men, them leaders, them captains, Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira, let's just say them two alone, and actually Dennis Bergkamp, a fucking double winner. That boy, love him. Do you reckon they were like, 2nd place, what a fucking result? What's a result, boys? We've just got 2nd. That's fantastic. Nah, they were pissed off from 99, they were pissed off from 2000, and they were pissed off from 2001. But guess what? Them 3 second place finishes were sandwiched between boys. A fucking double winning team in 1998 and a double winning team in 2002. What's this fucking 3 failures of second place sandwiched in between? Bottling against Tottenham 3-0 and a fucking 4th place finish, and who fucking knows what shit we're going to deal with next season because we've got this fucking prick of a manager. Help me out here, Rashid.
Nah, true. We've seen this manager, well, to land the point perfectly. This is what the manager said, and I quote, phase 4 to 5. Isn't it 5 to 6? Well, okay, phase 4 to 5. Establishing yourself at the highest level in the Champions League. Consistently performing, a lot of unity. He's always talking about unity and love and family and being very close, togetherness. Do you know what I'm saying? Energy, being very close to touching big trophies. So we're very close. So last season, at the end, when the players were telling us, you watch next season. That's the thing. I didn't save this stuff. If I knew, I would have saved what every player said and what every manager said and what Arteta said last season.
Now you do. So you'll be powerful from this point, bruv. Trust me, because you've got it.
100%. Now I'm going to start saving whatever this manager says, because it's completely total bullshit from this year to next year. Because I remember last year, they were saying, like, watch us next year. We'll come back stronger. Next year is defo our year. And guess what? What happened this year is we were offered a gift. We had City. First of all, Klopp left. So Liverpool are back to phase 1. Just like when we leave, the next manager will be back to phase 1, but obviously they won't back him. And even if they do, they'll still say that, oh, Arteta built this team, and you know how it is. But still, we're talking about Klopp left and City dropped off. It was the perfect season to capitalize, guys. It was the perfect season too. You know what I'm saying? And what does this manager do? He tried. Don't let him make you feel like he didn't try. He tried to go for it. He didn't let it go, and he didn't let go of the Carabao Cup, and he tried to the Carabao Cup, and he tried the FA Cup, and he tried every competition that he went for. He is just not good enough. And the season before, I heard a lot of fans, and I don't agree with them. This is my opinion, of course, guys. What I'm about to say right now, that we let a Carabao Cup and a FA Cup and these cups, we were obviously purposely losing them cups so we can focus on the Premier League. I don't think that's the case. I just think that this manager is just not good enough. He went for every competition, and when he faces a decent manager with a decent team, he will fold. Obviously, it depends on the system that the team plays, but he will fold. So beating Man City 5-1 this season is not something to talk about, because we've seen how many points they've dropped to other teams, how many games they've lost to other teams. So it's not something to boast about. We needed these wins last season when City were a proper team, not this season. I'm just giving examples here, and what I'm trying to say overall is just this manager's not good enough. Yeah. And next season he'll have another excuse, and the season after that he'll have another excuse, because it's excuse after excuse after excuse. When he told us in the press conference that this team should be a mid-table team, gaslighting us into thinking that this team should be a mid-table team because of the mistake that he's done for not buying the players. If you weren't going to buy the players, you bring other players, or you bring someone from the academy to play on the right instead of Saka sometimes. You don't need to play Saka every game. I can go through all the games, and I can tell you some games that Saka didn't need to play. Havertz didn't need to play. Do you know what I'm saying? And many more. There's a lot of players. Rice didn't need to play. There's some games we didn't need them. We played against teams that we don't need to. Do you know what I'm saying? Preston, why would you play Saka? Why? I'm not saying that the Preston game in itself.
He brought
is
Party
when
on as
Saka-
well. He brought Party on,
Yeah,
who was
why
injured
Partey?
almost the whole season before. Game management. Where is it? Worst in-game manager I've ever seen in my life.
You know, you put
Yeah.
your
I haven't got
youngsters on.
Kenny. Go on, sorry. Go on, Cole.
You
Sorry.
put your
Mate.
youngsters on. We've got a
Thank you.
22-year-old striker who's been rotting on the bench. Yet we
Yeah.
told you he's actually a natural striker. Is his actual main profile is a striker, Odin Deji. Yeah, at some point you've got to say, okay, we tried Marino, it hasn't worked. We tried Calafiori, it hasn't worked. Shit has hit the fan now, mate. Stick him on, or you are literally out. You are completely arrogant and you're out of your depth in this situation. You know, the reason why Ethan's been coming in, yeah, he's a talented player, but we've had to force him in because now Saka was out injured. I guarantee you, if Saka wasn't injured, would Ethan be getting any games?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Chat, am I lying?
Mate,
No.
do you know why as well we can second that point that you made? It's because everyone says, and they're so short-minded, man. Everyone's like, yeah, but he brought ESR and Saka through. It was like, well, he didn't give either of them their debut for a start. Let's absolutely get that right. Emery did. And secondly, why did he play? And especially it came to like mostly when ESR and Saka were playing, when we played Chelsea and we beat them. I think it was Boxing Day. And both of them had fantastic games. Why did they play? Because we had fucking injuries. It wasn't a tactical masterstroke. He didn't go, do you know what? I'm going to come in and shake things up here. He played them because he had to. Because he had to. And that and this to couple and solidify the point that Cole just made. Why did he play for Nwaneri? Because he absolutely had to. Do you know what? When Odegaard got injured and he was out for what, 2 months, there or thereabouts, give or take a week, did he play for Nwaneri then? No. But now everyone's all injured, so he had to play him. He had the perfect opportunity when Odegaard got injured to blood this guy in his actual or closer to his actual position. The perfect opportunity, but he only played him when he had to, and that's when everyone in the forward line was injured. So he's not a tactical masterstroke, or you can't give him any credit for that. He's looked around and gone, fuck me, who do I have to use here? Well, Ethan's the only one similar-esque. Do you know what, as well, to just add as well? In one of his press conferences, he was saying about who you're going to use as a striker. And this is worrying because he gave Ethan his debut at 15 years old against Brentford and we won away. I think it was 3-0 or 3-1 a few years back, 2 years back, maybe 2 seasons back. He said in his own press conference, I'll take his words, he went, oh, and I think maybe Ethan can play up front. So you give him your debut at 15. You've had all of this tactical things from Jack Wilshere's squad, etc., etc. You brought him through in training, but you only think he can. You know Marino can, but you can only think that even Nwaneri plays. It's ridiculous. And this is where, bearing in mind, people, he's like a PR genius. He just slipped up then. He said what he truly thinks. He don't know what he's talking about. Oh, I think maybe Ethan can play up front. What do you mean you think maybe? You either can or he can't. You've been in his training squad for 2 years. You've had extensive coaching details being given to you by all his under so-and-so coaches. What do you mean you think he can? Either can or he can't. Why? If you know that Marino can and he fucking can't, then why do you only think Ethan can? It's madness. I'm just going to quickly say hello to a couple of people in the chat and then we'll carry on. Yeah, big up Zir, man. Big up, brother. I know you made a comment a little bit of a second ago, and then I'm sure you see that I want trying to not Bayern Munich here. Yeah, man said compete with Bayern Munich.
Sorry,
we haven't competed with you
mate.
ever.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring Bayern Munich into the equation, but this cockwomble was just putting it on Twitter, so I just had to. So I just had to rephrase it, mate. But let's be real. You know, Bayern Munich have got. Bayern Munich have got cover as well okay, obviously Harry Kane is just bangs in goals for fun. You're not going to replace that sort of output. But Musiala is a quality player, but you can still do it. You're also in the Bundesliga as well. So you're on mute.
You're on mute.
I think as well, maybe, thank you. Also might be mentioning the silly Ivan Gazidis comments as well. Because I mean, they were absolutely mad as well. Like, we're going to compete with Bayern. That's madness. This geezer, for people that don't know in the chat, I'm sure, you boys do. And he sits next to me in the season ticket, but he's had common sense to bin off the vast majority of the matches this year. So I mean, I'm quite jealous of their money's recuperated, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because honestly, I know you say support them in the good and the bad, and then you'll say, oh, you're not a real support, because I've been giving a couple of my games away recently. But the thing is, man, is like, come on, this has been painful, man. This has been absolutely painful. I would rather spend, and Darren's the same, he's got young family. I would rather spend when I sell my tickets that time, because there's time. It takes about 6 hours minimum, and then the finances for me to watch Arsenal that day. And do you know what it also takes? It takes 6 hours away from my life. And do you know what it also takes? 6 hours away from my 4-year-old daughter, my now 30, she hates me for saying this, now 30-year-old missus, and my 7-year-old son. Yeah, she was 30 a couple of days ago. Grilling me for being in the 30s for, knocking on 6 years now. Ha ha. That's what you get. But do you know what I mean? It's time that I would rather spend. So when I sell my ticket, I've done one after the Newcastle game. I've said it a few times. I sold it after that 2-0. Oh, and by the way, when we lost that first leg, I sold 2 games. We got embarrassed at home 2-0 by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. They sold within a couple of minutes, both of them. So then that means that someone, after watching us get humiliated at home by Newcastle in the semi-final, was Googling, oh, I fucking want to see more of this. And they bought 2 of my tickets. Losers, man.
It's not just that. It's one of the cons of being a worldwide club as well. You know, obviously you can support from, anywhere in the world. But I mean, when is it enough? When is enough enough? When? Because yes, people tell you have to support them through the good and bad. Yes, we are. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying from my perspective, I don't go. Obviously, you have a season ticket. I don't. I go to what games I can in the season. But what I'm trying to do now is, because going to these games, you're helping, you're funding the club. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, you can't stop. And I understand you, because I can't stop. If I was financially stable, I would have went every game. So I'm not gonna say like Aaron, don't go to games, or anybody else to go to games. But when is enough is enough. We need to go. We need to send a message to this club that this is not good enough, because we're the most expensive in Europe, or one of the most expensive in Europe. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's not just the money of the ticket. Like you said, it's the little and the food there, and you know what I'm saying, and everything that goes on there. That's 200, 220, 250. People that live outside London, it's even longer for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of local, but you know what I'm saying? It's even longer than it for them, and they pay more money. And the thing is that this club doesn't care about us. So you shouldn't tell people that, oh, not going to games means that you're not supporting them through the good and bad. You can support a team through the good and bad if I see them try. And I don't mean the players sweating on the pitch. I mean the actual ball trying, getting players, getting proper players, elite players that deserve to play at Arsenal, getting a proper manager, and then trying to go for it, and then they don't make it, and then it's fair enough. We tried our best, and it just didn't work. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you agree with me, guys?
100%, mate. Like, it's there for like to all to see. Like, but Arsenal, the University of Arsenal, they just hire freshers, and then everyone's wondering, why didn't we get the job done over 5 years? Because you give it a geezer that needed to learn for 5 years, and guess what he done over 5 years? He didn't fucking learn anything. Why didn't he learn anything? I'll give you a couple of examples just off the top of my head. Nothing's prepared. I know that he don't learn anything because 2 years ago we nearly won the league, and Bill Saliba got injured, and it absolutely destabilised our whole entire season. Why haven't we not signed a fucking right-sided centre back then? That was 2 years ago. Why have we not signed cover for him? I just wanted to add
something, Aaron, and then you're on a roll, because what you said is 100% right, because you saw how we struggled when Saliba wasn't there. So why didn't you think the years after that? Why didn't you think that we should have a squad just in case this Saliba would happen again, this Saka would happen again, this striker problem would happen again, Havertz or anybody on the pitch? Why didn't you think? Because we already had, like I said, there's always warning signs. There's always signs. Saliba was our sign. That was our sign to have a better squad or squad depth. But yeah, continue. Sorry. I just wanted to add that.
No. Like I said, mate, there are just examples like that, and you sit there and you just think to yourself, like, when people want to challenge that argument, okay, sort of challenge it then. So the challenge would be, and this is what Top Goon's thoughts are, yeah. So like I say, why haven't we replaced Bill Saliba? So they'll go, all right, yeah, but we can put Ben White there, but what about when Ben White gets injured? And do you know what? This is a fantastic point that I'll add on top of my already fantastic point, not blowing my own trumpet, is that we do all of this, moving around. What do they call it? You know, you can play in all these other positions. The word's failing me. But do you know what the problem is with that? You know, if you're a player that can play in two positions, like Ben White, yeah, we bought him. I'll use this as the example. He can play right back and then cover centre back. But when Ben White's injured, two players are out, two positions are out. Then that's the problem with having all these versatile players. Is that, yeah, you can have him cover two positions, but when he's injured, you don't have cover for two positions. People forget about that. And they're going, oh, yeah, we'll just put Ben White there. All right, well, we played Ben White there for one season. He weren't good enough, and we pushed him out to right back. So then when we've got one of the best centre-backs out in the world, why do you think that putting a fucking centre-back back there that we pushed out because he weren't good enough there to fucking right back in the first place? I just don't understand it. Like, it's madness. How is that your adequate cover when he weren't good enough in that fucking position you're covering? You had to fuck him off to right back. Look, I don't get it. Make it make sense. But he's been injured, so there you go. Oh, you got Tommy Asso. How's that gone for everyone? And this club, this regime, this management gave him a new fucking contract. Make that make sense. Please, if anyone in the chat, please, anyone on the panel, if you can tell me why the most injury-prone player currently in this squad has been injured, hasn't played a game, he's played 6 minutes this season, and then what do? Go, I'll tell you what, Tommy, we're going to give you another year on that, boy. You know what I mean? You deserve it of all that hospital visits and everything like that. You've been gone.
We're the classy club. We're the classy club. We can't just leave him out there to dry because he's injured. We need to. What about his feelings, Aaron? Do you know what I'm saying? This is a company. This is a club. Yeah. There is no feelings.
It's a joke.
If you work for someone and you don't show up to work for a week or even for 5 days, out.
My boss has been off leave for 3 weeks and he hasn't given a reason why.
Oh, nice. Yeah. He's slumping it up, isn't he, man? He's playing Call of Duty in his pants, drinking Stella. That's what he's doing, mate. Isn't it? 100%. Yeah.
100.
He's not doing anything proactive with them 3 weeks, bro. I'm telling you that, man. Nothing.
I don't know. That's
Can't blame him.
But that's not my business to say. That's not my business.
Absolutely not.
No,
it's a calculated guess because that's what I do.
Me too.
Yeah. I just hide in the loft from the family and kids. Oh, fuck, they're back. And I just scumper up in the loft and put the telly on in there. She's wondering. She's like, oh, well, why are you doing the loft up? I was like, we need like flooring and we need a bit of space and all that. Then I installed all the electrics up there. Then the telly went up there. And then so did I. And I'm like, yeah, fucking hell, no, they're back. Fuck off. No, I'm joking.
No, you need time. You need time. You need time and space. But yeah, what I'm saying is like, we always try to be this classy club. You know what I'm saying? We saw that Gabriel Jesus had 2 injuries. Was it 2 injuries in the same place before this season?
Yeah, the knee, bro, isn't it?
We should have known.
Why are we getting so many knee injuries as well? Why are they all knee and hamstring injuries? Why are all the players got 2 injuries? Like all 6 of them, 7 of them?
It's
done by design.
It's done by design, common occurrence, or it's something to do with what we're doing in training.
Who's leading the training?
Well, Arteta, obviously.
Exactly.
And the set piece coach, but there's no way you get injured on it. Well, you could get injured on the set piece, but it's very, very rarely.
Yeah. The point is you see these people, and I see this all the time as well. My comments, other people's comments, they'll go, how's it Arteta's fault and the injuries? Oh, there you go. There you go. Why are they all the same injury then? Like, and you sit there and you just think, I don't get it. You've got who assembled the tiny squad? Because we had a bigger squad last season. So who sold all the players? Arteta said he's got the final say on everything. So if he's got the final say on anything, then he sold the players, then he's bought the players, and that are less players than we had last season. And he sold 3 attacking players in and bought 2 fucking defensive in one. And where we got all our injuries mainly, the attack. Oh, I mean, you don't get it. So what happens then? So you get hamstring injuries, and they're a regular occurrence now. Why do you get them? Through probably overplaying. Why are you overplaying them? Because you've got short squad. Who assembled the short squad? Mikel Arteta. I mean, I don't get it. So one gets injured, and now you've got a short squad. Now you've got a short squad. So what's the most likeliness to happen? Oh, we get another injury, and now you've got one more injury. Now you've got a short squad. What's the most likely thing to happen? Oh, fuck me, you get another hamstring injury. It's not fucking rocket science, is it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's the worst detective case I've ever heard in my life.
Isn't it?
No, it's like
Mate.
trying to detect a murder. Oh no, this one's fucking easy, isn't it?
Isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a smoking gun. I think that's what they say in some of the things, isn't it? It's a slam dunk. It's a smoking gun. I'm just gonna read a couple of these chats as well. Big up in the chat as well, and don't forget, I've pinned in my chat all the guys' links. They also are in the description, and I'm saying now as well. Get Rashid. What's your next thing coming? You're on 600. What are you going for, the 7 or are you going for the 1K, bruv? What one, man?
Hopefully all of us will be on 1K by the end of the season, you know. But that's the. I'm not even watching. I'm not even looking at. Well, I am looking at it, but I'm not trying to like look at the subs. I'm just trying to work, and just put.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm.
I'm trying to push this shit. Get Rashid to more subs. Get Cole to more subs. They deserve it. They both deserve it. They spit facts. Well, if you've got a set of ears and then you're able to process what they're saying, then they deserve a fucking like and a sub. So don't forget, people, do that. The links are very easily clickable. And the same here, like and sub on the chat. Shane, big up. Wenger continually got top 4 with the slowest, with a shoestring budget. I think maybe you might have said there. Won 3 FA Cups in the last 5 years and even managed a couple of title challenges. Yeah, you know, you had the 16 season there as well, and the most not likely, you know, the Leicester season, of course. Arteta spent 800 and done absolutely nothing. Oh, mate, absolutely not. Yeah, you know, he won that FA Cup, you know, the first year on. But here's another little fact I'll throw out for you, my friend, Shane. Since he won that FA Cup, we've entered 19 competitions after. We are currently, because the Champions League and the league haven't been settled yet, even though we know they have, is currently on a 17 consecutive failure of every single competition that is entered. So when he loses the mathematically the Premier League, that'll be 18 consecutive competition failures. And when we get knocked out by Madrid, whatever one they are, we will be 19 consecutive failures. Terrible, but we're going places with this geezer. We're Gresham FC. We're going to get that up very soon because I don't know if you boys can see. I've added something in there. We'll have that up just so people can see it as well, because sometimes people don't like to listen; they need to see, and that's fair enough. Everyone processes information differently. Arteta on Trent, big up, brother. Smaller teams like Forest get to see our football after near relegation last season as an achievement. Yeah, buzzing for them, absolutely buzzing. That's something to be congratulated. Totally agree. Especially with not spending much compared to Arsenal, mate. Listen, 100%, man. I'm all for Forest. In terms of how they've played and how they've done everything, they probably deserve second. And do you know what? If they get second, because I couldn't give a shit about second to fifth. Do you know, I'd like us to be in the Champions League still, but it's still failure. But second to fifth really means fuck all to me if it's still sort of in that competition. And if they get it, I'll be the first person to congratulate, because I actually think they've been better than us this season, you know? But yeah, no, big up, man. Thank you very much for coming in. And an OG in the chat as well, Vic. How are we doing, my brother? If we get better, then I'm worried the Cronkies won't back him as needed. Well, fingers crossed they do. At the very least, they need to give him a proper manager so his signings aren't wasted on Lego head. I simply don't trust the Cronkies, though. This is what I mean. You'd like to think, and I was having this conversation, I can't remember who it was with. I'd like to sort of hope that maybe this is the first sort of process of getting Arteta out. And maybe they're just going to go, yeah, you know, if the football ain't footballing next season, Berta, yeah, go on, sling the Spanish prick out. That's what we're all hoping, but we don't really know. Son, me and Toby are going for a Spurs. If any of you don't know, going for a Spurs means going for an absolute massive shit. Here's Toby doing a fucking Spurs. Hold on. Oh, look at him. Look at me. Look, it's poor from me. Hold on 1 second. Let's get this off. I should know better than to take the comment off to get this bit off. What's he having? Oh, he's having a Spurs. Hello. He's having a Spurs. Very, very, very poor for me. Don't do the comments up with the photos. Come on, Aaron, man. I'm still learning. Don't worry, man. But big up, Dad. And hopefully Toby enjoys his Tottenham, doesn't he? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Vic, good luck. Yeah, and your boys, sorry, there, big up, man. Ozzy, big up in the building, fella. Yeah, how you doing, my brother? Big up, Ozzy. Yeah, what a geezer. You're not, brother. Arteta, specialist of failure, man. Yeah, he mastered it well with the progression. Built a team of bottle jobs. We'll get to the progression bit, man, because it's something I enjoy showing people about this progression nonsense, because people still think we're progressing. It's embarrassing. Reese, how you doing, brother? Only reason we got the Carabao Cup is because we didn't really play anybody other than Palace before. Yeah, listen, yeah, and we let Eddie Nketiah score. That was always going to happen. But the ball was fine then, wasn't it? The ball was all right. As long as the ball was all right when we win, but probably really had about 8 different dodgy Carabao Cup balls against Newcastle. That's why we lost 4-0, 100%. Yeah, too many soft bellies in the team. Yeah, to help any half-decent players. We overcome to hurdle, mate. Absolute facts as well, bruv. Aaron, did you note we've dropped 15 points when playing party at right back? I knew that there was some sort of stat, sort of like there, but yeah, like I knew it was about like there or thereabouts. It's madness though, mate, isn't it? Shane, last season we were 5-0 up against Lens half time, kept Saka on. These are other great examples of what the points the boys were making. Do you know what I mean? It's madness, man. Yeah, and he plays the kids when his back's against the wall. Exactly, absolutely facts, mate. And we gave Saka's debut exactly right. Haaland has saved his job twice. Yeah, mate. 100%. He's saying Saka and Mel Smith Rowe and Ethan Nwaneri and all of that. Yeah, 100%. I'll just take a couple more of these and we'll get the boys back in. So I know Rashid needs to. I think he's got about 15 or so more minutes, but we'll get through some more of these and then we'll crack on.
Mark, super quick.
Big up, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, that hour's just fucking flown, isn't it, man? Like ridiculously. I hope one day the fan base will see the light. I hope they see some fucking light and all, because you know what I mean. Maybe this is the light bulbs, mate. The fan base need to see them light bulbs on. That's what it is. Miguel is clueless at the moment. He knows how to talk to the media, but deep down he messed up in the summer in the winter window, mate. I'm telling you that it'll all come down to that summer transfer window. Rico, big up, brother. And don't forget as well, and I said before, so I won't drone on again, smash the likes, people. And here we go. Lucas Look Sport, thoughts on Manchester United process. Why can't Arsenal do that? Listen, mate, and I'll skim over this because I'm going to do something specifically on this, and I don't want to give it all away on this little bit, but I'll skim over it. The reason why is because we've got too many melt Arsenal fans that will not turn up. Why? Because they think this manager is quality. They think he's good. They think he deserves the job still. So I'll tell you why. If me, Rashid, Carl, and a few of the other boys, we'd all get protests and we'd be about 20 blokes with a couple of cans of Stella and a fucking banner. We'd get laughed at and ignored.
Also,
that's the frustrating thing.
Also, just to what Luca just said regarding on the protest, it was exactly the same as Tottenham. Thousands turned up in their numbers, but then come game time, the stadium was completely full to capacity. It was the same. It's the same as wiping your ass and then taking a shit. It makes no sense.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? Yeah. Do you know what pisses me off, right? And I'll tell you on that thing, because that's funny, Carl. Yeah. Do you know what pisses me off just in life in general? When I have a shower, then need a shit after. I'm like, come on, man. I'm at peak cleanliness now. Like, don't get me wrong, I know how to wipe my ass, people, yeah, but it's just a piss take, isn't it? I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a shower, and then all of a sudden it's like,
it's the three S's. It's the 3 S's every bloke needs to remember: shit, shower, shave.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, add another one. You know what I mean? If you've got a chick around, it's a shag, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? We need the 4 S's. You need to add the 4 in there, mate. Come on, man. But yeah, it just pisses me off. I sit there and I just think, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? For fuck's sake, I'm at premium maximal hygiene cleanliness, and now I've got to fucking do a Jurgen Klopp in the toilet, for fuck's sake. Big up DJ Crane, man. How you doing, man? You can tell Arteta got LB in school, called it PTSD. That's why he buys nothing but left backs. Mate, honestly, like, I think not only does he not buy nothing but left backs, he buys other players like Tomiyasu and the Timbers and that to play him left back. I think he's obsessed. And do you know what the funny thing is? He had the best one in there the whole time, and now he's let him go for free when we could have actually activated his 1-year contract. Do you know what? To just quickly add to that, if we had another manager, Kieran Tierney would still be in next season. Another year would have been added on. Because we had an option when we let it expire, we could have added another year on his contract. And I bet you a different manager would have kept him. And we'd have had him for another year. And do you know what? It'd have probably done well and probably give him another contract. He'll fly back at Celtic. He'll fly back there.
Of course
We've
he would.
treated him like absolute shit, that bloke, because this manager can't manage anyone, man. Big up to you as well, bruv. Why can't I surprise to share with you? It's been for that. Yeah, versatile. That was the word I was thinking. Yeah, I was absolutely sort of stuck on it. Just like Wenger out. Yeah, well, I was Wenger out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Wenger out. Definitely Arteta out. Yeah, you definitely. I think you meant Arteta out. Yeah. Shitter. Yeah. Now I don't want to make this program all about shit now. So
No,
you know what I mean?
just to add to that,
We're going to skim over that.
Sorry,
Go
just to add to that, Aaron. That's my best mate who lives across the road from me.
Oh, nice, man. Okay, yeah.
That's DC. So
DC 07.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what DC 07 reminds me of, yeah? This club in Ibiza, DC 10. I'm not saying that club's a free upgrade on you because you're only 07 DC, but DC 10 was a very, 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 very good club, and it brings back very fond memories. I'm sure you've got very fond memories of Carl DC 07, but I won't forget your name now because I've synced it up with me being spangled on pills for fucking 10 hours. So yeah, Anket. But we won't say anything about that. Tomiyasu, easiest job I've ever had, 100k a week. And I'm not monetized yet. I couldn't give a fuck. Never played, so no fans question it. Yeah, nah, big up backs. We'll run through a couple of these and then we'll go to Rashid. Because this fucker runs the players into the ground. He does run the players into the ground, man. Why do they all get injuries? He runs them into the fucking ground. I'll take two more and then we'll continue with this because I want to bring up something. And there's a point all 19 of you in the watching at the minute need to see. You not big up, brother. It's not because Arsenal are classy. Yeah, I believe Tomiyasu is because he is part of the family. Cronyism. I might have misspelt that. Mispronounce it. Sorry. He has the right attitude, soft belly. Is a yes man, and he can play all over the place. He can play all them positions. He just is always injured, so he don't fucking play any of them. Do you know what I mean? That's the frustrating thing. It's actually a good addition to the squad, but the only good addition he is just fucking to the old fucking injury table. Do you know what I mean? It's more like a hospital than a football club, isn't it, Arsenal? It's just madness, man. We run him into the ground, like the comment said. Shane, this is the last one I'll take it, and we'll continue. Hamstring injuries are caused by fatigue. Exactly. We've lost so many players to hamstring injuries due to endless tracking back, no rotation, and just training it all down to Arteta. If there's any comment that I could summarize everything that I'm saying in that Top Gooners need to see when they go, yeah, but it's not Arteta's fault that we've got injuries.
Who's that, Mickey Mouse?
Isn't it? Yeah, I know. Didn't really mean to do a, you know what I mean, a West London Mickey Mouse. Then. A Stella-soaked Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
But what Shane is saying is 100% right. Why? Because we've seen Klopp. Klopp had the same issues as Arteta, the same kind of like hamstring injuries. It was caused by fatigue. And yes, goofy West London Mickey.
Big up Yasser, bro.
Big up Yasser, bro. Big up Yasser. But yeah, it happened to Klopp. But the only difference between Klopp and Arteta, Klopp won stuff during them times that he was using these players to go up, down, and the endless constant pressure. Look, there is a way to keep these players out of injuries, but injuries will still happen. Cheers, mate.
Check
injuries will always happen, man. Injuries will always happen. But you need to be ready. But this constant pressure and constant running after the ball, and then you accept these players not to be injured. Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's be real here. At least Klopp won some stuff. Yeah, madness.
Do you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sync this, or people will say segue. I'm gonna segue this competition. Fuck off, Aaron. Too many Stellas. We are closer to 9th position than the first one. I know. Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because we're regressing. Here we go. So this is up to date as of today, and the tables that you're seeing are from Premier League. So there's no fucking around here. This is the most official of official stats that you'll ever see because it's the competition stats. So when we say Regression FC, people else wonder why we're calling it Regression FC, because we've only been progressing. You know, we finished 8th, then we finished 8th, Then we finished 5th, so it's 5th, not 8th. Then we finished 2nd, and then we finished 2nd again, all but we had 3 more points, and we was only 2 points behind the leader than last time. So it's progression, right? Okay, so why don't we just flip your little logic against you then, Top Gooners? If that's how your metric is for gaining progression, then surely this is regression. Let's just go through it. We've all played 28 games here, you know, Arsenal in particularly. That's what I wanted to do. There's some fluctuation with the other teams. Whatever, it doesn't matter. This is an Arsenal podcast. Wins at 15 this season. Last season, 20 wins. Season before, 22 wins. So 7 wins down on 2 years ago. 5 wins down on last year. Is that progression or regression? I don't know. You just make it up for yourself. Let's just skip over. We've got losses. Yeah, they're at the same 3. Oh, we've lost 1 more. Oh, wow, that must be progression. And we're on the same losses as 2 years ago. We must be progressing because we haven't lost as many as this stage last season. Must be. That's the metric they'll pick out, by the way. But this is where we're looking at. And this is how the team's playing as well, yeah? Goals for, goal against, goal difference, and points. And this is the most point that I'm making. Goals for. This season, Arsenal, 52 goals scored. Bearing in mind, we don't need a striker. Remember, we absolutely do not need a striker. 150% don't need a striker. So we've scored 52 goals this season, don't need a striker. Last season, we scored 70 goals, only an 18 drop-off. We didn't have a striker last season, but we're not progressing this season. We're regressing. Okay, 2 years ago, we scored 66. I mean, that's some damning drop-off. So you might say, oh, yeah, but last year we scored 70 without a striker. Yeah, but we've regressed this year and we still haven't got a striker. So why didn't we get him in this summer then after them stats and we scored 70 goals? Do you not think that adding a striker would have probably significantly boosted the pathetic, miserly 52 that we've got at the minute? Okay, let's switch over to goals against. Conceded 24, same as last year and a little bit better, but we haven't progressed. There isn't any progress. It's just equal things. Goal difference, 28. Last season, 39. And the season before, 40. And here's the one that pisses me off the most because this is the one that really, really, really matters. And if you don't like it, it is what it is because it's fact and it's just inarguable. 2 seasons ago, 69 points. Last season, 64 points. This season, 55 points. Hold fucking that. Swallow that. Take that with your night nurse. What are we doing here? That is fucking ridiculous. How are we progressing and not regressing? That on pretty much every single metric, boys, and probably in a drastic scale. And a drastic scale, we're regressing. There's the proof. What's your thoughts on it, boys, man?
I think, look, there is no change. I can't see any difference between the last season and this season and the season before. We can see that we've dropped significantly regarding the goals for us or how the amount of goals we score, which makes sense. Obviously, it's not just about the striker; it is about the system. This is what I want people to. It is not about a striker, and I agree with Roy Keane. Even though I don't like him, as in personally, I don't like him. But Roy Keane said that I'm not sure even if Arteta would get a striker. You guys heard it. I agree with him. It's not about the striker. If we continue playing this way, you won't score even if you had, I don't know who, even if you had Gyökeres or Haaland or one of the top strikers in the world. Because, excuse me, sorry.
No, you're good.
Because we're not creating. we're not creating, are we? Are we creating chances? Not really. Thank God there was the set piece coach that got us off the hook for so many times. So many times this season. The set piece coach has done his job, to be honest. He's done his job in so many games. And there was like at least 6 or 7 games that we won because of the set pieces. You get me? So what the end of the story, the end of what I'm trying to say is that it's the system. And the system we play we are only gonna meet certain teams that are gonna play a high line, like the
Yeah.
Brightons, and maybe a City, maybe a Liverpool would play a high line against us. There's certain teams that will play a high line against us, and the rest it won't. And we've already established that this system only works against certain teams and certain systems, to be honest. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, man. That's my thoughts on it. And on that
Yeah,
note,
man.
I got to scoot. I got to run. People, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe
Yeah.
to this guy here. He's bringing facts. He's bringing data shows. You're watching every time. He's bringing more new stuff for us to dissect and talk about. Do you know what I'm saying? This regression AFC is going to continue. I hope you continue it the whole year.
It don't stop. This is it now. This is what I'm doing. It's updating
Please.
every single week, bruv. Every single
Please.
week until we start progressing again, apparently.
Need
Until
to
we
start-
win something.
need
Until
to
we
start-
win something every week.
And we need another elite show like last time, man. Elite show. If you haven't checked it already, go check it out. Go check it out. Last show
What's
we
that?
had
Everything wrong with Arsenal.
with the OGs. Yes, everything
Yeah,
wrong
man.
with Arsenal. Check it out, guys. And yeah, big up to the chat. Big up to Carl every time. Big up to Aaron. Like and subscribe to these guys. And I'm out. I'm
Big up,
sorry.
brother.
I have to run. Sorry.
You do what you need to do, brother. Carl, are you all right to just stay for another 10, 15?
Absolutely,
I don't
mate.
wanna
Yeah,
keep
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's fine,
wicked,
fine.
man. Wicked, man. Buzzing. Go on,
Look,
go on,
this-
Cole. You go, bruv. That's it, man.
Look, 23-24 season, we screw it up already. And the reason why I say this is because I've thrown this stat out already, but if anybody in the chat hasn't heard me say this, I'll say it now anyway. The average amount of losses you can only afford to have in the Premier League in order to win the league
Yeah.
from 2005 up to this present day is 4. 4 losses. That's all you can
Yeah.
afford. 23-24 season, we had 4 losses before Christmas. And I immediately said, do you really think we're going to run the table? We almost ran the table, and I say we almost ran the table, but we knew we were going to slip up again somewhere down the line. And how ironic it had to be to our former manager, which still gripes me to this very day.
Yeah, great.
What you need on this, mate, is creative shots, or rather clear-cut chances created for the last 3 seasons, just to see how bad that our creating has been, or how regressed it has been over the last 2 or 3 seasons. I'd probably say over the last 2 seasons. In the 22-23 season, we was creating a lot of chances, and as you saw, goals for, we scored 66 goals, so we were creating goals. But the more I look into this now, the more I hate to use this term, but we are like a one-man band. It's Bukayo Saka that runs this team.
Yep.
And it's just baffling, to say the least, how we can continue to just sweep this under the rug, thinking this is all fine, when it clearly shows on the screen that it absolutely isn't.
Cole, that's why, yeah. And I've sort of like learned this for a little bit, man. Like, to just sort of show it. Because sometimes people might go, oh, he's talking bollocks. Like, they might go, oh, he's talking sense, he's talking bollocks. Either. Do you know what I mean? I'm not all your dads. You don't have to fucking listen to what I say. You don't. You're your own people. You're fully grown adults. But if you choose not to listen to me, or you think I'm bullshitting, well, here you go. I mean, it's here. So you can know that when I'm saying about regression, we've regressed in basically every metric. And do you know what the metrics that we don't add here is the very, very fact that the football is terrible. Do you know what, my friend? Yeah, Cole, world-class chat. Do you know what? I'd be able to deal with it just a little bit better if going to the Emirates Stadium wasn't such a chore and a bore. It's both. It's both. Do you know what? There was a stage where I like going, and let's get it right. I've watched Arsenal, much worse versions of Arsenal than this. So I'm not one of them fans that only goes in the good times. But by the way, where were the fucking good times? There ain't been no good times.
When we
So
were
do you know what I
winning.
mean? Exactly. It's got to the point now, and I've had my season ticket a few years. I've got a life outside of Arsenal, man. I've got young kids, and do you know what? I don't mind setting aside, and we've had family chats about this. You know, I go to Arsenal games. It's that I've always done it, and I always will. But when it's getting to the point where I really don't think going to games is worth this. Why has it been worth? Why has it been worth it? Can anyone tell me, if anyone writing in the chat, anyone still here fancies, answer me, Carl? The same things asked you. Can someone please tell me, apart from PR and merchandise, the things I detest about this club, can someone tell me one positive thing about Arsenal? Maybe someone might say from Neri, you know what I mean? But I'm saying, what's one thing that we've done better this season? One thing. Just like if someone can give it to me, and then the tumbleweed flies across the screen.
In the words of Imagine Dragons, you're a sucker for pain. That's all I can really, that's all I can say, really.
I must like it and all that. Turn up to games of the old gagged and all of that.
You expect it's like, oh, here we go again. It's gonna be the same song and dance all over again, isn't it? And it is because you know, we're football fans at the end of the day. You know, deep down we're thinking to ourselves, you know, I don't really want to do this anymore. This club's doing my head in. The performances are shit. It's not good. Yeah. But you do it but you keep going every single year because you were bedded into this football club. You know, you from a very, very young age. So it's sort of it's like a little piece that sits in your soul. You can't take it out. And as much as you know, as much as people could just deflect and so on, I think nowadays, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, right? When we was growing up, right, the two main football shirts or three main football shirts that you saw in the street 9 times out of 10 was either Arsenal, Man United, or Liverpool.
Yeah,
they were the three teams. And then you barely saw Chelsea unless you was in the Chelsea area. You didn't see West Ham unless you were in East London. You don't see Newcastle unless it was up in Newcastle fans. When Chelsea got big, then you started seeing people seeing a lot of Chelsea shirts around. Like, hang on, how much have you really supported Chelsea? And the same things will go for Manchester City as well. How long have you really supported Manchester City? There are some good ones out there. You know, you got Daps and you got Big Steve and so on, right? But you know, we're bedded into we're bedded into this now of how we support our football club. But the one thing that you always remain as a fan is, you know, fans nowadays, they just want to go there, have a good time. Whereas us back in the 90s, we go there. Yes, we want to see our team win, but we also want to see our team lift up a trophy, even if it's a cup, because at least we could say successful season. I can actually enjoy my summer, not worry, unless we bugger up the summer window. Then I will be worried again. But you know, that's the duality of being a football fan.
Facts. Do you know what as well? I need to add this because Shane's putting some facts in the chat. Yeah. Until and he's right. The 22-23 season was unexpected. Correct. So teams weren't locking up against us yet. Correct. As soon as they saw us a threat and switched to low block. Correct. Our scouting was Scoob. Do you know what? Yeah, that's it. And do you know what? I suppose maybe the pessimistic side or negative side or whatever you want to label it, we'll actually sort of see. Well, actually, maybe then that might not even be to Arteta's credit because, you know, like he's done all them things. And when the actual tough sort of when it started getting going, you know, next season when we're like, all right, Arsenal are a force now. All right, you know,
he ended up
improved on that. But
what makes it so jarring as well? On that season, it was 9 games to go with an 8-point lead. And I think at that point, we'd also lost Saliba as well.
Yeah.
And he
tried to replace, by the way.
Who we never replaced.
Oh, not replaced, you know.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand. And the way we were playing, there was nothing wrong with it. Okay, people were not getting us through at all. But it was a case of, why did you go defensively? I guarantee you this: if he continued to play the same way we did, and I know he's as one-dimensional as a Charles Dickens novel, but if he just continued to just play the same way I genuinely think that season we would have won the league. Genuinely, if it would have won the league, if you just continued to play that way, because you lost Saliba, you've lost your anchor, you've lost your best centre half. So guess what? There is a saying: what is the best form of defence? Attack.
Attack, yeah.
Goals. Just, I don't care if we freaking get through and it's like a 3-2 or 4-3, or even a freaking 5-4. You get the win by scoring goals. And it goes back to, I'm glad I'm wearing my Patriots shirt because I've got a stream to do on the Patriots Touchback channel at 9:00 tonight.
Nice.
And it was basically, it's, what's the term for it? Attack wins defense. It's attack wins games. Defense wins championships. The attack will win you games, but when it gets to the nitty gritty and like the final 4 or 5 games of the season, that's when you defend for your life. That's when you know you can't drop points anymore.
Yeah, mate, it's fucking madness. And these are saying that as well. To what Hendon's saying, Arsenal 3 losses in, 9 points dropped, 10 draws, 20 points dropped. Total drop 29 points so far. That is bad as 10 losses. Yeah, sack the fraud now. And do you know what as well? What you were saying as well, I'll have my own take on like the defense. Do you know what I mean? If you've got a phenomenal defense, that means guaranteed maximum you can only get 38 points. If you've got the best impenetrable 100% defense in the world, you can get a maximum guaranteed of 38 points in a season because you don't know what your attack can do. But your defense can definitely not concede a clean sheet. But the attack on that flip side of bits, do you know what I mean? Like goals win games. It's as simple as that. And do you know what I mean? I think we've got the defense not nailed down, Carl. But I think it's not. I know the left back again is still for some reason. Hopefully, Maitland-Niles can sort of calm himself down and whatever.
Maitland-Niles? You mean Lewis Skelly?
Lewis Skelly, still a sod. Wow, it's a double barrel name, whatever it is. Yeah.
I know it is.
I'm so stuck in my 2019 shows. You know what I mean? I'm still messing around. But anyway, I'll digress. You know, the defense ain't too bad in terms of like the midfield. You know, Odegaard not really hitting it, sort of. But you know, we know he can do that. He just hasn't been doing that. Maybe he needs a new manager. When Partey may leave, I think he will. You'll have Declan Rice sitting in there. The midfield doesn't need major surgery, but the attack needs major surgery. And that's the problem. That's why we're not winning league titles. That's why we're drawing all these games. You know, because there you go. It's here to all the 10 draws. The reason why we're drawing them is because we've got an all right defence. We're capable of not losing games, but the problem is we're not capable of winning them. And that's why we're 15 points behind bloody Liverpool.
And that comes down to the creative spark, which we don't have.
Exactly right. And the point that you made earlier, do you know what I mean? It's our attacking spark sat on the bench with a massive scar on his leg, Carl. Do you know what I mean? Like, and whose fault is that we've only got one of them? He's had 5 years and 800 million to spend. No one's put a gun to his head and gone, do you know what? If you sign an attacker, Mikel Arteta, the family's getting whacked. Like, do you know what I mean? No one's done that. He just has chose not to sign an attacker. On the ones that, and by attacker, I mean striker, because let's actually look at the attackers that he signed. Willian, Marquinhos. I mean, shall I carry on after them 2 names? Because they don't get any better. I can guarantee you that.
They don't. With the left back situation, it's in the Rubik's Cube that keeps fighting back every time. You know, and now we're relying on an 18-year-old to bail us out of Encombers, who, by the way, is not a left back. He plays on the left side of the number 8 in a free midfield. So why are we putting him a left back? Oh, right, because Zinchenko freaking can't defend, Calafiori can't defend, Kivior can't defend. It's as if we talked about, you know, if you look just at the goalkeeper and the left back position alone of what Arteta's wasted, he's wasted close to nearly 160, 170 million pounds. Just on those two positions alone,
mate. Yeah. It's ridiculous how badly this player's.
I've always said you could have saved like the 70, 80 million you paid for all these freaking goalkeepers, including David Raya has saved our skin. I'm not.
That's where I was going to go next.
I'm not crediting next. You know, David Raya's been great for us, but you know who would have been even better for us? Keep it on with Emi Martinez and saving 80 million. There's your release clause for Gyökeres.
Exactly. Do you know what? Yeah, I was going to make that exact point when you said about them positions, man. It's fact. And then do you know what? You add all the players, that he's played at left back, I can steam for him very quickly. And do you know what? I'll do this a little bit because I enjoy saying this to people, So the best left back that we've got and had at Arsenal for a long time is Kieran Tierney. He's still there, but sadly going. He's injury prone, So I'll tell you what, because Kieran Tierney's injury prone, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll sign a midfielder called Zinchenko, play him at left back, and he's also injury prone. So what I'll tell you what we'll do, because
And we stick him on 150
Zinchenko's
grand a
injury
week when he's
prone,
on.
and we'll stick
And he's only on 20 grand a week.
exactly. So I'll tell you what we'll do to get out that little scenario. What we'll do is we'll sign Calafiori, who's a centre back, maybe, who definitely ain't a left back, and is also injury prone. So just in them two players, we've spent nearly 80 million themselves, the Gyökeres release clause, on two injury prone players to replace an injury prone player, and none of them are left backs. And the original injury prone player that actually hasn't been injured is there and is your best left back. So there's 80 million wasted. The goalkeeper, there's another 8 million. There's 160 million. You've also spent Tomiyasu and played him there. There's another 80 million. Then you've also bought Timber and quite largely he's played him there. There's a lot of money. What about Kivior? You bought him at centre back, but you don't want him at centre back. You play him at left back. You played him there. What about Nuno Tavares? Like, it's just ridiculous how much we've spent on that side of the pitch. It's about 200 million when you start adding it all together. It's like over 200 million on players that he's playing at left back and in goal. And the original players that were there, like you said, Martinez and Kieran Tierney were there in the first place. So what I'm saying is we've spent over 200 million pounds to break two fixed positions.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And you spent 200 million pound breaking two positions over fucking half a decade.
I get it. Get a backup left back in and get a backup goalkeeper. I'm not against the I'm not against the idea, but Martinez is a World. Okay, if you fast forward to now, Martinez is a World Cup winner. You're not going to beat out a number one goalkeeper who is a World Cup winner. You're not.
Yeah.
So the best thing to do is get a backup goalkeeper who can learn off him, and then maybe bring a first stringer from the academy who could actually learn off Martinez as well. That's how you kind of develop it in the same sort of way. Kieran Tierney, he would have been, if Lewis Skelly did end up playing at left back in his academy days, he would have been perfect to have learned off from Kieran Tierney. Perfect.
Fact. But what we're doing is, like, this is what I'm saying, Carl. There's just so many different examples across the whole board, across all metrics, about how badly this manager's failing Arsenal. Shane's saying here, the staggering thing is that despite half the world's left backs, and it seems like we've signed him, my friend, we probably still need a new one in the summer. And that's the funny thing, mate. You're absolutely right. That is like the perfect wrap of that left back scenario is we actually do need another one. And what do we do with all the players that we've signed? We let the best one go for free now. And it's just comical how we're just letting all these players go for free. We could have extended his contracts at the end of the I think at the end of last year. I think in around December or January, Kieran Tierney had that option. Whether he liked it or not, it was the club's option, not Kieran Tierney's and or Arsenal's. And we just went, we'll just let you go for free. Now we just let you go back. Why wouldn't you have just extended it?
You mean your graph that you brought up a while back of what's gone wrong regarding of the selling on fee of what we could have actually got, and instead what we ended up letting them go, and just that was I almost dropped my coffee mug when I saw that. I was like, oh my god, that's not collateral damage. That's if I was the tax man going around to your house and looking at the accounts and they were like this, what Arsenal was right now, I'd be like, sorry, Aaron, maybe I've got to put you in fucking I've got to put you in bankruptcy, mate.
It's damning, Cole.
Look at this damage.
Yeah. Like another time, I'll sort of like bring it up. But for people in the chat that haven't seen it, I've done a show recently, Thursday, I think it was, everything wrong with Arsenal. And I brought this up and I ran through this only as well from the 2019. And that's the thing about it. It was so hard to put them bits together because you can get each individual bit. But if I wanted to present it to people, if I'd have like done it like this, like say, obviously, to add it to screen and then we get, like this coming up here to make the point that I wanted to make with all of them different stats there, I'd have been taking screens off, adding screens on. It had just been a disaster. So it took me a little while to get everything in place to the point that I wanted to make. All factually, I haven't bent any stats to fit my narrative, but But yeah, when you outline it out and sort of like this, but obviously that's in a lot more detail with things. And that was only the signings from that squad. I'm putting together one for everything, where like, I mean, it's literally all signings, and it's going to be like a spread thing over a few pages. I'm knocking on that sort of door or things like that. I'm going to present that as and when. But it's eye-opening. Like what you quite rightly said, I had people messaging me in my inboxes. I had people messaging on the thing. I had the people that I had on stream was like, I remember I had Matty the Southern Gooner. I love that geezer. He and
Big
he's
up,
got
Matty.
the best, yeah, big up, mate. He's got like the best accent on the planet, any man. You shyster. Oh, mate, I've probably done him a disservice there, but it's fucking an excellent accent, man. And he was like, I think he was like watching it. He was like, Aaron, man, Aaron, brother, I don't can't believe this shit. I was like, I mean, this is eye-opening. I'm like, yeah, I know, Matt. And it just fucking is. Do you know what I mean? When you just see things, because you hear people saying, like, we know we're saying, spitting off action, you're like, he's talking bollocks, he's talking waffle. But when it's there on the screen, it's hard. It's hard to just disprove it. And sometimes people's worldviews get shattered by it, because top gooners will be looking there and thinking, all right, well, now they're talking bollocks, and then they'll just see that. It's like you said, it's bankruptcy. And that's scratching the surface, a little scratch. That's like... and it's going to get worse. And my next spreadsheet will be a lot bloody worse than that, mate. I can absolutely guarantee you, my friend, because it's true. That's where we're sort of at, mate. I will wrap up in 2 seconds because I know you've got your own thing to do. 20 minutes. I'm just going to take a couple more of the chats, and then we'll sort of wrap up. She said you've got a show at 9, and we're knocking on the door. We got Vic, Aaron. How you see how many tickets are sold at the PSV game? Yeah, I hope Prem games are as empty as that. Yeah, Hendo done exactly the same sort of like message. I think he put in the chat as well, and basically said, yeah, that a lot of them haven't sold. And do you know why that hasn't sold? And Hendo said it as well. It's because they put it just like last season against PSV, because I had to pay the same bloody money. They put it as Porto. Sorry, last season I meant to say. They put it as category A. You telling me that Porto at home in the last 16 in the Champions League, like PSV at home in the Champions League, should be a category A fixture? It's 90 quid, 92 quid, £92 that game cost me, this PSV one. Dead rubber or not, 92 quid. It should be a category B game of 55 quid for my seat, not category A. Category A is the equivalent. They're saying this game's the equivalent to Real Madrid in the next round. Same price. Same price.
No,
PSV at home.
Yeah, they've done it because it's Champions League.
Exactly.
Regardless if we're up by 7-1 or not.
Yeah. And yeah, Hendo's right here. Yeah, I'm still struggling. I put mine up straight away. And yeah, it ain't sold, man. So what I'm going to do as well is I said to DJB, absolute legend of a man he is. I'm going to go and see DJB before the game. He don't sit too far away from me. He's up a tier as well. So I don't want to give Arsenal the satisfaction. It's an awkward one, and I don't know how I feel, because there's an equal counter to this. I don't want to... I should not go for the empty seats, but I also don't want to give Arsenal the satisfaction of my £90 and not spend... Do you know what I mean? Just give them 90 quid and not get anything for it back. So I will enter the stadium, and I'm just going to go see a couple of dads. I'm going to say hello to Dan Potts. He sent me a message earlier. I'm going to go say hello to Dan. I'm going to say hello to DJ Pig, Kenny. And I just thought, do you know what? I'll use it as a good opportunity to, you know, get something for my buck. So Arsenal aren't actually stealing 90 quid off of me. It's annoying. And big up to you, Prime. Big up, brother. I see you in the chat recently, man, and in Leeds as well last night, man. Big up, bruv. Hendo, yeah, big up, man. Just they're rushing Saka back off in international games. I'm going to wrap up now, and then that's going to be the first thing I'll Google after, because I hope that you've misread, or like, I really do, mate. I'm sure you haven't. I'm not knocking you or anything like that. I just pray that you've just read a con site, because even though I'm sure you're 100% at what you write, my friend, I am devastated to read that shit. That is the last thing. We owe it to Bukayo Saka to not do that. Shane, one of many stats that will show how little Arteta learns from his mistakes. Except the last 3 away games against Newcastle, we've had 3 shots in total. Brother, in it, mate. 100%. It's pathetic. Are we on national break again? I think we are now, are we?
No, we got Chelsea this weekend.
Oh, we got. Yeah. And then
Chelsea this
break.
weekend and then the international break.
Yeah. Big hello, yeah.
State of the Nation show.
Yeah. They're rushing back. It's finished. I'd love to get back into that more, but we will wrap up just after I take the couple. Yeah, and it's like school holidays comes around too quick. It's all ridiculous. And yeah, you're right. Premier League games resumes 31st of March. Hendo always absolutely spot on. And you're absolutely right. It's double shocking and 90 quid. Yeah. That's the standard for a Category A Arsenal game. Yeah, which apparently is PSV. Yeah, it's a joke, mate. Thanks for that, mate. Oh, you're all good. Well, I know you won't send it to me. Arteta said that for the United game. Mate, it's all honestly all a joke. But right, I will wrap up there. Thank you for firstly, obviously, everyone, man. Thank you always for continued support. Do you know what I have been noticing recently is that the numbers and the likes and the views and everything like that have been going up. And listen, the subs have been going up. I can only appreciate it, man, because my work rate's gone up to it. I'm not going to stop until we get to until we get to what we want, man. And that's doing this. That's why we do it, man. It don't matter whether you go to games. It doesn't matter, albeit it's nice because I get an option to maybe see us lifting a trophy. But I'd take watching it on a television with my mates and a boozer, with a family, with whatever. I just want us to be successful all day long. Carl, man, listen, you give me an hour and a half of your time, and that also is extremely appreciated. It never will not be. The Geezer Spix Fats people, it's in the chat. It's link. I've pinned it in the chat. I've pinned it in the comments. I've said it's not clickable. Someone said to me about going on YouTube or something like that. I will edit that so it is clickable. Carl, man, shout your thing out, bruv. Where can we listen to the facts you talk?
Yeah, you can obviously find me on my YouTube channel, Gundown UK. You'll find me on X, KB Arsenal Pats 32. You'll find me on Instagram as well, Gundown_33. And yeah, that's where you'll find me doing all my stuff. Wednesday night, obviously, I'll do the watch along for the PSV second leg game, even though it's absolutely flipping meaningless. I know I could very instantly do the Madrid second leg, but I know I have to stick to my own guns here. Pardon the pun. Thursday, I'll have the usual Arsenal anger management show, as always do on every Thursday night. Hopefully to get a couple of two new guests on. A couple of people in my DMs and on YouTube have said we would like to collaborate with you, so that'll be good to know. Saturday I'll do a call-in show of some kind. Don't know what for yet, but we'll do so anyway. And then Sunday, might be able to do a watch along on Sunday, but it all depends. It all depends on babysitting arrangements, because I can do a watch along in the evening when he's asleep, but when it's in the day, it's virtually impossible. So I have to do that as well. And one last thing I'll say, okay.
Yes, my friend.
Big up to Jez Collins, the Arsenal history and more. 3 times he's mentioned me and my channel through streams. So obviously, he was on with us when we had the argument with Mark, aka the Scottish bloke, so on.
Still no info.
There's no info. It's still no. I got no info either, so I don't know where that's disappeared to.
Yeah.
He's mentioned it on his channel, and he's also mentioned it twice on Lee Gunner's channel as well. And when you went off, he mentioned something. He said, "What a great channel! So you need to get more stuff. You're doing such a good job." He nearly made me tear up. Sorry, that sounds like a very gay comment. Okay, what I just said, but it did make me tear up.
We're not going to start gay bashing, mate. Don't worry.
No. You know what I mean? It's like, Pads, you get on with it. No, but
you're right, son. No, we don't do that here, bro.
It was just great. It's great when you get that sort of like motivation, that sort of push that you want. Then it makes you want to go even further. And now it's going to make me push this channel to go even further now. So big up to Jez. So thank you so much for the appreciation. And Aaron, thank you for letting me come on. Much appreciate it. Even though I was a tad late before you went live.
Yeah, man. Listen, and as well, people, you know, it's a community that we're getting, and you know what? It's nice to see. I don't know how long you've been doing your channel, Carl. I haven't been doing mine for a few months. Rashid's coming out there. There's people coming out the woods now, and you know, it's nice to see because there's so many fans and powerful fans as well. You've got the AFTVs who are numero uno in terms of, you know, power and subs. You know what I mean? You know, they've got a lot of influence. Probably, I should say, more than power.
They
They've got a lot of
sold their soul for a
influence.
buck.
They sold their soul for a buck. Quite correct. And there's a lot of fan channels like that out there, like the Babses and you know, there's one that coming out with the different knock, the one that Lee Gunner. I love Big Gunner, man. Love Big Gunner. Lovely Gunner, sorry. He's an absolute geezer. He sent me the video, but I haven't asked him yet if I'm allowed it. Like, I don't want to nick his little video, but you know, when they do the 12 the questions and they ask that geezer, yeah, he sent it to me just so I was like, oh, I want to have a little watch of it against this. Hilarious. You've got people like that can't answer basic historic Arsenal questions. Basic questions. They're all gone 100,000 subscribers. They're all going all through the roof, and all they're doing is just peddling nonsense to you boys. You know what I mean? It don't bother me whether I've got one person watching or 1,000. Obviously, you'd rather more. Don't get me wrong, but do you know what I mean? Eventually, there'll be more if you stick to your guns like you do. Carl, if you stick to your guns, mate, just like I will, and just like DJB does in the chat, if you all stick to your guns and you carry on spitting the facts, eventually it will go that way. Do you know why? So people will. It takes the spastics a lot longer to see through other frauds. But do you know what? It takes me 5 seconds. Seconds. Probably not even that. That's doing it to service. I can see when people are being disingenuous. And there's a lot of disingenuous Arsenal fans and fan channels out there that talk crap. Come and have a little listen to people like Carl. Come and listen to people like what DJB says every single day on various channels, like myself, like the Rashids, and plenty other more people. Because we're talking from here. You won't catch us out, man. We don't get caught out. Do you know why? Because it's all from here. We may be wrong. You may be able to disprove us in some bits, no problem. But the general crux of what we're saying is straight from the fucking heart, man. And that you'll never be able to you'll never be able to replicate from that. Do you know what I mean? That's what we do, man. We talk Arsenal fans. We love our football club. I hate the fact that I've started coming on here after talk shit. I want to talk positive. Do you not think that I'd love to come on here and start fucking giving it the Barry McGuigan about how good Arsenal are? That's all I want. I'd love to be able to go down the boozer with my Arsenal top on and just bounce around like I own the place. Do you know what I mean? While we've just beaten Manchester City or Liverpool 4-0 to win the title. Do you know what I mean? I'd somersault into the boozer.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to do this. Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, when we're talking, Carl, if I started changing my narrative now and said, oh, do you know what? I think you may give Arteta a little bit more time. You'll go, what the fuck has he just taken? Do you know what I mean? Like, what's going on? You'd be like, oh. You'd know, wouldn't you? You know when someone's talking shit. But
no, most fans need to say as they see it. But you know, don't just follow the narrative of what everybody else saying. Don't be a sheep. Don't follow the herd. You know, think on your own 2 feet. Okay, you're a fully grown adult now. Think on your own 2 feet and think with your own mind on things. You know, back in the older days, I couldn't spot a liar or a bullshitter. Now over the last like 18 months or so, I can spot on a liar and a bullshit from literally from a mile away, and that's made me realize. Yeah, I can see with my own 2 eyes. This isn't working. Get out. This isn't working. Get out.
Yeah, and just to finish this on, because I'm a massive Matrix fan. Yeah, it's the best film ever made in my opinion. What Morpheus says, we can only show you the door, but you have to walk through it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you how to think. I'll show you the door. You are the ones that have to walk through it. What can you do? I'll leave that up to you people. Have a good evening, man. I will catch you very soon. Carl, if you're going to shoot, I'm going to stay here for 1 more minute and just shout out what I've got coming up. So if you need to ping off, mate, because I know you've got 9 minutes left to sort your thing out.
Yeah, well, it's already set up. It's just a case of going live and make sure everyone's online, ready to go and that. So, Patriots Touch Back Podcast. I'll be on in about 10 minutes. So, don't worry. I won't be as angry as I am on there. It's quite chilled down. It's all about free agency. So, Yeah. And we've signed some big boys on the defensive line, which is a good sign. So,
Yeah.
Right. I've got to go, Buff. Peace out, everybody.
Bye. Sweet, man. Yeah, just quickly before I shoot, I'll probably be doing a stream either tomorrow or maybe Wednesday during the day. And I'll be having a little chat with people about you'd notice some channel changes as well already, i.e. the name. You'll probably notice some of the black sort of surroundings is there because it's a funeral at Arsenal at the minute. That's why I've kept it nice and black. I'll change that my surroundings to colours when we actually start playing colourful football again. But there's a lot of things that I've got to say to people, so I'll announce a few things and in all due course. But it's good about what we're doing. We're going to be doing more streams. I'm going to be going on some channels. We will cover that. So look forward to my next few sort of streams. You know, I'm going to try and maybe do it tomorrow morning, maybe Wednesday morning. So I'll be going to the Arsenal on the Wednesday. But stay tuned for that because we're going to have a couple of announcements to make, as well as a bit of football chat, of course. But listen, man, thank you all always for coming in and tuning in. We're going that way, man. Talking absolute sense and only fucking sense. Let's get that right. And you enjoy the rest of your Monday evenings. Take care, people, and I will catch you all very, very